All right. For those of you who don't know, schools have it a little different. Some schools, an RA is either a resident advisor, some is a resident assistant. In any event, an RA typically is usually an upperclassman. Sometimes it's a sophomore, but usually it's a junior or a senior, whose responsibilities include, having a certain number of students to their floor assigned to them. They're responsible for ensuring that the students follow the rules and regulations that are set for the rooms and so forth, whether there be certain things they can't have in the room, certain things they can't put on the wall, certain things in terms of, types of events or activities that can't occur and so forth. And for those kids who've never experienced it, that can be kind of a shocking experience. So as someone who served as an RA for 3 years, some universities, they actually will hire you as an RA your sophomore year. Doesn't happen a lot. It's usually a rarity. And when I was in college, I was only one of 5 that was hired as an RA as a sophomore. And so I ended up doing it for 3 years. And so here's a few tips that I need to tell you. If you've got a kid that you know that is going to college and they're going to move into the dorms, they need to keep in mind. First thing, this is not their house. One of the toughest things that a lot of times these students when they get there is they think they want to take their home environment and move it in to this new room and space where they can operate it completely on their own. Now, I'm not saying you can't take some of your things, but just keep in mind that unless you have the luxury of having a room all to yourself, you're not going to be able to move all the stuff that you have from your previous place here. For one, you're not going to have enough space. 2, some of the stuff that you have in your room back in the house that your parents let you have, the university's probably not going to let you do that. And thirdly, if you have a roommate, your roommate's probably not going to be as down for you dominating the space with all your stuff. So keep in mind, you can't move what was at your house into your room. Secondly, if you have a roommate, be prepared to adjust. I cannot stress this enough. One of the best aspects of going to college is you get the opportunity to spend quality time with people that you've never experienced or worked with before. And that's awesome. But the growing part is learning how to adapt to someone who's different than you. If you're a morning person, like I'm a person, when I was in college, I get up and I start talking the moment I get up. I can jump up out of bed and take off running. That's just the way I'm wired. But I had a lot of my friends who were not morning people. I mean, we would go to the cafeteria and they were like, don't talk to me. And I'm like, I'm the exact opposite. I'm like, I'm chattering all over the place. That's important. So make sure you let them know that, hey, you might be dealing with someone who is different from you. Okay? Thirdly, the RA is not your maid or your butler, but they're also not your mom or your dad. What do I mean by that? Okay. Sometimes what happens is that you think that the RA is there to kind of serve you at your whim in terms of whatever problems that you have. They're there to connect you with resources, but they're not there to jump through hoops because you've gotten yourself into stupid things. But at the same instance, they're there to make sure that you follow the rules. They're not there to tell you how to live, but they are telling you what consequences you may face if you do something in contradiction to what the rules and the requirements require. Fourth, if there's any housing deposits that are required, some schools require those deposits on a rolling basis. So that means you put a deposit for your room for the fall, you may have to put another one for the spring. Don't let those deposits catch you where you're in a situation where all of a sudden you realize, oh crap, I didn't pay a deposit. Now I have to move to a whole different area based on first come, first served basis. You don't want to be put in that situation. And then finally, study the rules for the dorm ahead of time if you can. Find out exactly what you can and you can't bring. So if they tell you you can't bring posters put on the wall, don't bring no damn posters. If they tell you that you cannot bring a hot plate into the room, I don't care if your mother or your father let you have a hot plate at your room at your house. Guess what? You ain't at your house no more. All right? I hope some of these things are helpful to you. It's been about a minute or two, but I've had to deal with a few friends of mine who've had college kids, and I always like to tell them, listen, make life, that transition into going into student life on the campus life and dorm life is traumatic for some students, but it's also a great opportunity. And there's things that you can do to help them make that transition. I really hope this helps them a lot.